Your financial health is the sum of many different moving parts. Financial literacy, investment on your education, your income and expenses, your credit rating, financial planning, and so much more. And while investing your time, energy, and effort into improving all of these aspects can also improve your chances of reaching the financial health or the financial success you're seeking, there is one key component that affects everything: human behavior. That's the main premise behind The Psychology of Money, a book written by Morgan Housel that I read recently and that you may have heard about before. In this book, Housel goes through 20 main money lessons, one per chapter, that explore different ideas behind money making and money management. But today, I wanted to focus specifically on how to create a financial strategy you can stick to. Together, these 3 lessons create a solid foundation that you can consider for your own financial strategy. And as always, here's the typical disclaimer. Money and finances are incredibly personal things, so some rules may apply to you and some rules may not apply to you. No one should be telling you what you should be doing with your money. So all the advice that you hear, whether it's on this video, whether it's in other videos, whether you read it on books or articles, or you watch something on the TV, remember that you should ponder whether that specific financial advice makes sense to you and whether it makes sense to your specific financial situation. Also, sometimes during these financial videos, you may hear the expression financial success popping up a lot. So here on the channel, I adopt a very broad definition of success. Success is basically whatever you want it to be, according to your values. So in this case, financial success is whatever level of financial wealth and freedom that you're seeking in life. Okay, so let's talk about your lesson number 1. Expect your future goals to change. In chapter 14 of the book, Housel shares one critical key to developing a long-term strategy you can stick to over decades. Expect your future goals to change, react quickly when they do, and build flexibility into your financial plan. The author explains that when someone is making financial plans, they fall prey to something called the end of history illusion. This is a phenomenon where you realize you are a completely different person than you were in the past, but you fail to recognize that in the future, you are going to be a completely different person than you are today. And of course, this completely affects your mindset about your finances. So there are 2 key things you can do to avoid this trap. Firstly, it is important to recognize that life is dynamic and that change is inevitable. And secondly, it is necessary to approach the future with an open mind and a willingness to adapt to any changes that may arise. By taking these 2 steps, you're making sure that your financial plan is long-term and that you're preparing yourself for some, unexpected changes in your life. Also, avoid extreme financial plans. Extreme financial plans remove any wiggle room that could enable you to change your mind or habits in the future. This could leave you stuck to a situation you could have probably avoided if you had planned with a more flexible mindset. Lesson number 2 is developing a survival mentality. Housel explains that when you develop a survival mentality, mom brain can't even memorize the script anymore. Housel explains that when you have a survival mentality, Housel explains that when you have a survival mentality, you recognize that you can lose all of your money and not get it back. And because of this, you take extreme measures to prevent that from happening. You become frugal, you live beneath your means, and you're a bit paranoid about your financial situation. So, more than building wealth, you're already learning to protect it. This means that you prioritize measures that help you build long-term, consistent gains from compounding. This makes your returns the most stable over time. Overall, this means prioritizing stability over profit and never to rely on luck. Secondly, you prioritize room for error when you create your financial plan. Even if your financial plan only works in a narrow range of possible futures, you're placing yourself in a precarious position. So by adopting a survival mentality, Housel explains that you're planning for a wider range of possibilities, becoming financially successful even if a lot of things do not go your way. And in this context, it's important to be optimistic, but only realistically. While it's important to believe that you're going to have financial stability in the future, it's also important to recognize any kind of challenges and financial issues that may arrive in the short term, because this is what is going to enable you to protect your stability. All in all, the author considers that you should have kind of a mixture between paranoia and hope. Overall, the plan is to believe that you'll succeed, but also understand that in order to succeed, you're going to find many obstacles in your way. And this mindset is going to help you stay in the game for long, and that's because you're already preparing for when things go wrong. Lesson number 3 is to be reasonable but not logical. Excel spreadsheets are all fine and dandy, and I'm a sucker for them, but they only account for financial elements, providing you with an incomplete picture, as a lot of the pieces of the puzzle being your full financial scenario, are actually missing. And you know, a strictly logic strategy can be actually incredibly difficult to follow. It's more important for you to be able to consolidate a sensible strategy, even if it's not the one that really maximizes your profits overall. This is especially important if that sensible strategy is something that you can commit to in the long run and something that you actually believe in. So instead of only focusing about maximizing, focus instead on kind of sufficing. Employ a strategy that works for you, that makes sense, that is going to provide you with stability, instead of always trying to make sure that you're opting for something that will maximize everything. That is the most logical thing to do, because sometimes the most logical thing to do is a very hard thing to do. And if it's very hard, you're not going to do it, so you're not going to do anything at all. If you want to put all of this into practice, I will link down below a suggested spreadsheet that I have from Face Art Portrait, and I think this will help you get started on your financial journey. I actually have a recent video as well. We talk about more practical tips to improve your financial health this year, so it's a really good companion video for this one. Also, if you'd like to organize your finances in 2023, that's actually one of the topics we'll be covering in our online class, Organize Your Life in 60 Days from Chaos to Order. We'll be covering the essentials on how to create a system to reset your life in 2 months and feel like you're actually in control of it. You can find all the details in the link in the description box, and you can book now to guarantee you'll attend, since spots will be limited. Just like our goal-setting class, this one also comes with a free workbook so you can work on your personal organization for 60 days. And in fact, learning by doing is the only real way that information is going to get consolidated properly. And it's also the only way you're really going to understand what's going on with so many financial rules you hear about. For instance, you can learn about compound interest when you take the algebra course from Brilliant, who's sponsoring today's video. And you can explore their website to understand how everything works. Brilliant is an interactive learning platform that teaches about math, science, computer science, and many other subjects. The whole concept behind Brilliant is to allow you to be very hands-on, so you can learn a lot of new things without ever having to memorize entire textbooks. If you want to learn more, and if you are one of the first 200 people to click the link down below, you'll get a 20% discount off your annual premium subscription. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys!